A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Jethro Lazenby, the son of Nick Cave, dies age 31. The death of Nick Cave's son Jethro Lazenby has shocked the music world.
A former model, actor, and photographer, he was a rising star in the fashion industry. His death was ruled an accident. He took LSD shortly before his death.
What is more, he was recently released on bail from a Melbourne jail. This sad news has caused widespread outrage.
Jethro Lazenby was a rising star in the fashion industry. Nick Cave is mourning the death of his son Jethro Lazenby.
The singer lost his son 7 years ago when he fell from a cliff in Brighton, England. Lazenby was raised by his mother, Bo, and never knew that he was his father until he was 8.
Although estranged during childhood, the two eventually became close. Nick Cave wrote a touching piece about his son's death and its aftermath.
The singer Jethro Lazenby was 31 years old when he died of a suicide. Lazenby was a rising star in the fashion industry.
He had roles in films such as Corroboree and My Little Princess. Despite having a thriving career, Lazenby suffered from mental health issues and often used his father's name to further his modeling career.
Although he did not know his father until he was 7 years old, Lazenby allegedly used his father's name to get his career going. Later on, he was jailed for assaulting his mother.
Before being arrested, Lazenby was a rising star in fashion. He had worked with Balenciaga, Versace, and Vogue.
He had also been photographed by the French fashion designer Hedi Slimane. Jethro Lazenby also delved into acting.
He appeared in 2 movies, My Little Princess and The Little Prince. He was recently released from jail a few days before his death.
Before his arrest, Lazenby was an established model. He began acting roles under the name Jethro Cave.
He later pleaded guilty to a variety of crimes, including assault and breach of court orders. A lawyer for Lazenby allegedly said that the artist had schizophrenia at the time of the incident.
While Lazenby had a strained relationship with his father, he used Jethro Cave to further his career as a model. He was a former actor, model and photographer.
Nick Cave has confirmed the death of his son Jethro Lazenby. The cause of death is yet to be revealed.
Born in 1991, Jethro lived in Melbourne with his mother before meeting his famous father. He later started working as a photographer, model, and actor.
A year ago, Jethro was arrested after violently assaulting his mother, Bo Lazenby. His legal representative explained that he was suffering from schizophrenia, a mental illness that affects his judgment and ability to make rational decisions.
A judge released Jethro on bail from the Melbourne Remand Centre on May 5, 2022. A court order required him to undergo substance abuse treatment and not to contact his mother for 2 years.
On March 7, 2022, Jethro was discovered at his mother's door where he stayed for the night. In the morning, the two argued and both fled to a nearby pub.
A police report was subsequently published in which Jethro is described as the son of a famous musician. Lazenby was born in Melbourne, Australia.
He never met his father until he was 8 years old. He was arrested for attacking his mother, which made him an overnight sensation in the Melbourne media.
Last week, he was released from the Melbourne Remand Centre. He was subsequently diagnosed with schizophrenia.
The cause of his death remains unknown. However, the death of his father is a tragic part of his life.
While his father was an acclaimed musician, he also had a role as a model. Besides modeling, Jethro Lazenby worked as an actor.
Jethro Cave was born in 1991 and discovered his father at age 8. He had 2 acting roles before he was arrested.
Although he was arrested, his life ended in a prison sentence for attacking his girlfriend. He was jailed for an assault on his mother.
Jethro Lazenby, the eldest son of Nick Cave, has been jailed for an assault on his mother. He was convicted of beating up his mother Bo Lazenby in March 2022.
Bo was on bail at the time. Jethro had returned home to his mother's home after midnight, and he had already made her a bed.
But the attack landed him in jail before being arrested. Jethro was a rising star in the fashion world, walking the runway for Versace and Costume National Homme, and starring in 2 films, Corroboree and My Little Princess.
He had previously worked as a photographer and a musician and was a regular at London Fashion Week. However, in the last year, he was arrested for a violent assault on his mother and girlfriend.
The case has left a cloud over his career. According to reports, the musician's son had spent some time as a model and even starred in movies like Corroboree and My Little Princess.
Despite this, the former child model had a troubled past, and his son is now facing jail. A recent documentary revealed that Nick Cave suffered from schizophrenia.
Jethro Lazenby's lawyer said the musician's illness had left him unable to focus on his job. The Melbourne Remand Centre found Jethro in possession of cocaine and marijuana.
His mother had agreed to let him stay over for a night, but he was found in the bedroom after she had convinced him to stay the night. Then, Jethro and his mother got into an argument, during which the singer kneed her in the face, injuring her severely.
He was released on bail from a Melbourne jail just days before his death. The tragic case of Jethro Lazenby, the son of singer Nick Cave, has shocked the music industry.
The young man, who had been released on bail from a Melbourne jail just days before his death, was accused of assaulting his mother and causing her death. Jethro, whose twin sister Bo was also killed, was a model and actor and was born in 1991.
Jethro was diagnosed with schizophrenia and was released on bail from the Melbourne Remand Centre just 2 days before he died. Jethro Lazenby was born in 1991 in Melbourne, Australia.
He found out about his father when he was 8 years old and began working as a model. At age 12 he appeared in 2 films, Corroboree and My Little Princess.
At the same time he was working as a photographer. His death has left fans shattered and distraught.
His death is the second tragedy for the family of the late singer, who was the father of the late Jethro Lazenby. His death comes just 7 years after the tragic death of his other son, Arthur Cave, who died after falling from a cliff in Brighton.
In 2014, Arthur Cave's son Jethro was released from a Melbourne jail just days before his death. In 2001, a lawyer for Lazenby's mother, who was charged with assaulting his mother, asked for leniency, and the charges were dropped.
A court hearing is scheduled for December. Until then, the court will decide whether to release the boy on bail or not.
A death sentence may be in the works, but the death of Jethro Lazenby will have a lasting impact on the lives of other people, too. He explored the loss of Arthur through his album Ghosteen.
In July 2015, the twin boys of Australian musician Nick Cave died, Arthur, aged 15 at the time, after taking LSD and falling from a cliff. Nick Cave, who was then 45 years old, had been close to his mother, 93-year-old Anita Lane, and explored the loss of Arthur through his album Ghosteen, released in 2020.
The loss of Arthur inspired Nick Cave to write music, and he subsequently recorded Ghosteen and Skeleton Tree in 2017. Before Arthur died, Cave was promoting a global cinema event that would involve a number of artists and musicians.
Now, these plans are in limbo. In the meantime, however, he continues to work on film scores and album productions.
Despite the tragic events surrounding Arthur Cave's death, the death of his son Jethro Lazenby has prompted the Australian musician to honor his son. Although his death was unexpected, it comes as a shock to fans.
Nick Cave was the first musician to acknowledge the loss of his son through his music. His acoustic work and acclaimed albums have both helped his fans cope with the loss of their loved ones.
Jethro Dawson was born in 1991. He was not told his father's identity until he was 8 years old.
He grew up in Australia and was a model. He posed for fashion photographers like Hedi Slimane and later started his own musical projects.